Generational communication. Well, that's one area that sometimes people don't feel like they understand each other. You see, generational communication, people will say we can't get along with the X's or the Y's or the Z's. Though I did a presentation the other day and a man raised his hand and said, I think the Z generation is going back to the generation of the golden years. I think these kids that sometimes we don't understand care more about the community and being part of something bigger than themselves and bigger than the company they work for. So instead of looking for what's wrong with the younger generation, let's look for how we can connect. Let's look for ways to communicate that we can understand each other. I remember when my oldest son was in high school, one of his teachers, a chemistry teacher, would say to me, the teenagers love me because I love them. You see, I blow things up in the classroom and the kids engage, but I also instant message them at night because that's where they are. He learned to communicate in a way that people could hear them, and they learned to ask him the questions so they could be successful in that class. So my question to you is, are you communicating in a way that the previous and the past generations can understand you? Rather than looking for differences, why don't you look for similarities? Get a little uncomfortable and reach out through a text if that's not your thing, or get a little uncomfortable and write a handwritten note. You see, when we honor people by communicating in their preferred way, they will listen better and they will care more about what we have to say. So maybe it's not an XYZ or the first generation or the last thing. Maybe it's just more about communicating in a way that we can listen to each other. How are you communicating with the other generations around you? I'm Annie at anniemeehan.com. Please come to my website to learn a little more about my favorite topics that I hope you'll love.